Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Brooke Johnson and I'm a geologist. I work here at the University of Liège in Belgium where I study rocks and fossils that are billions of years old. But I'm originally from Teesside and I started collecting rocks and fossils on Redcar Beach. I always wanted to know why the shells in the rocks were made of stone and why they were different from the shells on the beach that got washed up by the sea. That's because the rocks on Redcar Beach are nearly 200 million years old, from a period we call the early Jurassic. Back then, Teesside was mostly underwater and the beach was all the way inland near Northallerton. It was a lot warmer back then too. The land was covered in jungles full of dinosaurs and the sea was full of strange creatures like these ammonites and devil's toenails. The Pennine Mountains were a lot bigger back then as well, and there were big rivers that came down from the northwest and dumped loads of mud out into the sea. Sometimes big tropical storms would stir up all of that mud and bury creatures that were living on the seabed. The hard parts of the animals, like the bones and the shells, had turned to stone, but the soft parts had all rot away. And that's one of the reasons why Redcar Rocks are so full of fossils. In fact, Redcar Beach has some of the best early Jurassic rocks and fossils of anywhere in the world. But wait, there's more. If you look at them from above, you can see that Redcar Rocks are folded into a dome shape, and that's because 60 million years ago, Africa collided with southern Europe and started to fold up all of those rocks. The biggest folds from this collision are called the Alpine Mountains, but smaller folds reached all the way up to Redcar, and that's what's folding Redcar Rocks into the shape that they are. But that's not all. About 100,000 years ago, there was an ice age. Big floes of ice called glaciers slithered across the land, bringing chunks of rock from faraway exotic places like Scotland and Scandinavia. When the glaciers melted 10,000 years ago, mud and those rocks got dumped onto Redcar Beach, burying an ancient forest. You can still see the remains of that forest near the vertical pier. The glacial till is still there too, covering up the Jurassic rocks, and at the east end of the beach it forms the cliffs between Mask and Redcar. You can still find all of those bits of rocks and fossils in the till that were brought by the glaciers. And if you're really lucky, you can find bits of exotic metamorphic rocks from Scotland and Scandinavia that are billions of years old. These are just some of the reasons why Redcar Beach is so special. Not only can you walk through 200 million years of the Earth's history, but you can also get a bag of chips and an ice cream. Just watch out for the flying dinosaurs.